Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to talk to you about pain and how we can actually think about pain differently. I've had a little bit of a tough streak in my recent weeks. I got the worst food poisoning I've ever had, and then recently after, I sprained my wrist pretty badly, hoping it's not a fracture. And I've had a lot of time to writhe around in pain, in bed, thinking about pain, and also thinking about how to process it differently. A few weeks ago, I went to a Buddhist meditation retreat in the foothills of the Himalayan mountains in northern India. And this has been a fantastic way to practice some of these ideas that I got from this Buddhist retreat. This video is going to be a little bit different. Today, what we're going to do is we're not going to break down some top book or any crazy like real Buddhist philosophy. This is going to be a little bit more kind of like Kia's crazy crackpot thinking. So let's jump into it. How is this an opportunity to practice? What do I mean by that? If you encounter somebody who's difficult, who's weird, somebody who's challenging you in some way, or a situation thinking, okay, yes, this is hard, this is difficult, but it's giving me a chance to practice. During the meditation retreat, we would cultivate gratitude for people in our life that we didn't like, that made us angry. Why? Because they're giving you a chance to practice. This person, in a way, is actually giving you an opportunity to flex your muscles of whatever that is, patience, gratitude, having a more open heart, a more open mind, whatever these things are. That pain and uncomfortable situations pushes us into that place that we don't always find when we're feeling happy. These days, I can be so much more appreciative for what I have because of all the days in my past that were super painful, when I didn't enjoy life, when I was broke and down and out, that now having money, having time, having space to create, it means so much more to me than it would have if it would have all just been given to me. What are you taking for granted that you don't necessarily realize? My wrist. I don't realize how much I use my wrists until I hurt one of them. And then I realize anytime you want to pick something up, taking off your shirt, eating anything, putting anything down, whatever it is, you use your wrist so much. And it's not until you hurt it that you realize how much you love it. I didn't realize how much I loved sidewalks until I didn't have them. I didn't realize how much I loved being able to take a shower out of a shower head rather than showering out of a bucket until I didn't have it. I didn't realize how much I appreciate electricity, steady electricity, and not enduring power cuts until I didn't have it. My point being is, how can we cultivate this real sense of gratitude for these things that we have before we lose them? Because it's not until you lose it that you actually end up really caring about it. And I think for me, that has been really powerful the last few weeks. Losing mobility in my wrist, having this crazy food poisoning, not being able to be mobile or be active. Man, it's not until things are taken away that we really miss them. But how can we cultivate that a little bit before we even get to that point? The last 2 points I want to make, these are both huge. I'm saving the best for last here, y'all. This one I think is crazy. And this is, every pain you've ever felt, you've healed from. This has been really huge for me, especially with the wrist. Because I've had so many physical injuries in the past, every time I get one, I get super bummed out. I'm an active guy. I like being physical. A couple months ago, I was in serious pain when I sprained this, and the whole day I was going around holding my wrist. I had to go to the pharmacy, go to the doctor, and I was so frustrated because I was like, man, I really want to get back to boxing and fitness and blah, blah, blah. But in my head, I thought, Kia, you've healed from every single injury you've ever had, whether it's a broken heart, whether it's a broken arm, a broken knee, whatever it is that you have had in this life, you have beaten. And to me, just that knowledge is super powerful. Knowing that every single challenge I have faced before, I've overcome. And that to me gives me enough sanity to really work through, especially my physical injuries. Which brings me to my last and possibly most important point of today's video, and that is, time is going to keep on keeping on. Albert Einstein said that compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world, and I firmly agree with this. That's because time will pass. That's its one job. And so for me, I found that taking that into perspective, taking that into consideration is huge. Thinking about, how is my day-to-day the only thing that matters? Time's coming either way, whether you're here or not, that's another story. But for me, thinking about all I have is today, and if I can get through this moment, means that I'm on to the next moment. And I think about this a lot with working out. This is one of my favorite examples. I think about this. This is BUD/S, famous Navy SEAL training in the US. And when they looked at BUD/S participants, a lot of the time it's because they have crazy difficult training, and the trainees that made it through said it was because they took it one moment at a time. They weren't thinking about the next exercise that was going to be super difficult. They weren't thinking about, oh my God, I got to do this for the rest of the week or the rest of the month or whatever. It says, how do I make it through right now. Focus on right now. The time is coming. That's what it does. That's its motherfucking job. Time does time. It passes. Just the one thing it's got to do, compound interest. How do you put pennies in the bucket today and realize over time it's gonna get better? I hope that is somewhat helpful. I know it's a bit of a strange video, but as your boy has been enduring a lot mentally recently, going through a lot of pain, these are some concepts that for me, I find I turn back to time and time again that really help me process intensely difficult periods in my life, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, knowing that time will pass. How can I make it through this moment, through today, and just worry about tomorrow when it gets here? Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, appreciate y'all more than y'all know, and I'll check you on the next one. Peace.